Hello guys, my name is Gavin, and this will be a tutorial on how to change the speed at which your action plays using Python in the Blender game engine. So we're gonna add the animation into our script with Python, and then we're gonna edit its speed with Python. All right, and I'm just gonna get started. To start off, let's right-click on our cube in the middle and hit X delete. X delete. Sorry about that. Next, hit 7 to go on the top view, and do spacebar, and then add a plane like this. And hit S, X, and 5 to scale it up 5 times on the X-axis. Alright? Let's then drag this panel out and click on this orange cube and rename this to bar like this. So we've renamed our object to bar. Okay? Once we have that, we're going to right click on this bar, go into edit mode, click this edge select mode, or this point select or vertice select, hit B and then drag over one side and do mesh, snap, cursor to selected. Let's then go back into object mode and do object, transform, origin to 3D cursor. We should see that our bar is going to animate like this if we hit S and X. Alright, now that we got that, let's go into our animation settings. So from defaults to animation. Now I'm going to hit 7 to go in the top view. Drag this panel up down here. Set the end animation frame as 100 and the start as 0. And let's put this as 100 right here. So now that we're on keyframe 100, I'm going to hit I and then lock scaling. And you can see now we've got a keyframe at 100. Let's put this keyframe now at 0, hit S, X, and 0, and do I and then lock scaling. So if we play this now, we can see we're going to have an animation that goes from frame 0 to 100. But you notice it's not linear, or it's not very, it's kind of choppy a little bit. And you can tell because it's kind of rounded like this. Let's then hit key and then interpolation mode and linear to make this line straight. And we can see the animation will now be normal. Alright. Next what we want to do is get the name of our action. So the name in this case is bar action like this. Next let's go into game logic. Let's go into game logic view. And let's go to Blender game. And actually, I'm going to go back in the animation and set the keyframe to 100 like this. Alright. And then to go back in the game logic, sorry about that. And on our bar right here, let's add a number or a sensor always, and add a keyboard sensor, name it a space, and put spacebar in here. Alright, let's then add a Python controller like this, so Python in like that. Let's do templates, Python, and then game logic simple. Okay. Now that we got that in, let's delete the portion I've highlighted and hit Control and scroll up on your mouse to make your text larger. I'm going to rename this to script.py and add that right here. Let's get the spacebar sensor inside of our script by doing space is going to equal content sensors space. And what we're going to do is have it so that when we hold down the spacebar, it'll determine the speed of our animation. So let's have if space.positive bar speed is going to equal, let's say 25. And if we're not holding down the animation or the else, let's have bar speed is going to equal to 5. Alright, let's then have it so that our this bar right here will actually play the animation. So let's have own dot play action. And inside of this, let's put the name of the animation, so the bar action. Let's set the starting keyframe that we want the action to play from, which is 0, and the ending is going to be 100. Then, I'm going to drag this out. Let's select the play mode, so play mode is going to equal bge.logic.kx underscore action underscore mode play. Alright, hit a comma after that. Now let's set the speed to be equal to the bar speed, that variable that we created inside of our if statements. Okay? Now I'm going to hit Control and scroll out and make sure your code looks like this. If we hit P to play now, we see our animation is going to play like this, but if I hold down the space bar, you see it goes a lot faster. And that's because we're determining that the bar speed will be 25 when we're holding down the mouse button or the space bar, and if we're not holding down the space bar, it'll only be 5. So fast, slow, slow. Alright guys, hope you found this useful.